Hi, Dolly. Hi, Roxy. Where are you? Roxy. Hi. Hi, baby. Hey everyone, Erica with the K here. Today's video is going to be an outdoorsy one. I'm going to be staining this deck right after I clean up this bird poop, and then I'm also going to be repotting and planting some plants.
Damn, homie.
Was it a good bowling?
Yeah.
Did you get my bowling?
Okay, let's
No, no, too much pressure.
No, yeah, I gotcha. Love it. Do you love it?
I do. Very dark. I like it a lot. Woo-hoo! I need to tell a not so funny story. It's actually going to be really funny at the end, but just give me a second to get there. So I thought this was the perfect time to tell this story because I was wearing these pants when I went to go vote in the last election. And fun fact that's not very fun is that I am actually a registered Republican because I grew up conservative, as I had said in many of my videos. And it wasn't until the orange guy, who shall not be named, came into politics, and his hate and disdain and corruption, everything I saw in him was something that internally I was against and I didn't want to be a part of. His hate and ignorance made me question my own hate and ignorance. I was so ignorant, I didn't even know it was hate. I was very much raised where politics were a sports team, and if your team won, hurrah, hurrah. But I really started to think about the policies, and I started to put myself in other people's shoes. What if I wasn't born white? What if I wasn't born privileged? What if I was born part of the LGBTQ plus community? What if I was born with diabetes? What if I got diabetes? What if I was disabled? What if I knew somebody who was disabled? What if I need an abortion? What if I was a veteran? What if I had small kids who needed to go to public school? Or what if I wanted to get my kids vaccinated? What if there were so many situations that I personally was not affected by, and that's why I was able to look at politics as a sports team. But when I started to put myself in other people's shoes, I started seeing things more clearly. Instead of listening to the rhetoric, I started applying politics to everyday situations with logic and level-headedness. And I realized there's not a single Republican policy that I even believe in. So why am I voting Republican? And so I can proudly say that I never voted for Trump. Oh, sorry, the orange guy who we can't name. Since then, whenever I do go to vote, you know how there's always like the Republican and the Democrat that's sitting there, you know, to check that it's you and check your signature. Yeah, because like a lot of Republicans don't know if that actually happens, but the two people who are there to check your signature, they're actually one's a Republican, one's a Democrat, and they check your signature. That's how we vote. I will usually have something witty to say. Like one of the times I remember when I got up there, I pointed to the Republican thing on my voter thing and I said, oh, well, that's embarrassing. So in the last election, I was walking up to go vote and I saw the woman looking hopeful when she saw me. And as soon as I got up there and she saw that I'm a registered Republican, I could see her whole demeanor changed. There was like a sad wave that came over her. And I felt the sadness too, so much so that I couldn't even be my usual witty self. I didn't say a word. I just bent over, signed my paper, and I just went to go vote for Harris, even though I am a registered Republican. So after I voted, I got home and I noticed that I had a huge hole in the butt of these pants. A huge hole. It's since been mended. I've since sewed it. But I really think that that was my karma for ever voting Republican, forever thinking that politics didn't pertain to real life, forever being so privileged that I didn't know that policies actually affect people, because that's how privileged I was. This little guy just whacked me in my head. Part of the beetle family. And they feed on beetles that ruin trees when they're harmless. Go ahead, guy. Go. Hey, babe, I'm just filming a little.
Okay.
Just so that nobody thinks I did the whole thing by myself.
Got me at the worst part.
Sorry.
No.
No, you don't.
Making a joke.
Let's repot some plants. So this is my aloe vera and it has tons of little pups on it that are just growing in here, and I desperately need to get it out of here and let the little pups have their own spot to grow. This is another one that's just not doing good because it's a glass container with nothing on the bottom. And then here's another. I've only started with 2 aloe vera plants and I have a ton now. Here's another one, and then over here is a spider plant. I'll show you later how small that one started. That's a snake plant. I think the jar is too big. And then that's an orchid. I never know how to say that, but orchid. That's from my grandmother's funeral. So now I'm going to put all of them in containers that you can release water from the bottom. These are all like outdoor containers, but I wound up putting plates that we don't use under them so I could have them indoors without them dripping and ruining everything. So let's get into it. This is what the spider plant came in. One of my clients gave it to me as a gift. It was a pup from one of her spider plants, and it came in this, and now it is, let me show you. Look at these shoes. These are the ones I always wear when I weed whack. Anyway, that's how we started, how it's going. I don't know, it's pretty cool to me. And then these are biodegradable. It's from Recycled Ideas Favors. That's where they got them from. Super cute. The wedding was like, I don't know, 5 years ago, and I just never planted them. So I'm just gonna put these little guys in there. I don't even know what's on them, and then we'll fill the rest of it. Can you see that? Ah. And that's it. That's everything. Everything that's getting planted today. And we still have some dirt left for these guys.
One's in the ground.
Beautiful.
It is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can always just go drive by and see what's going on.
Yeah?
You filming that?
Yeah. Okay, Roxy. It's a beautiful day and I have some good planting news. So I want to make this quick because I don't have that much memory on my phone because like I said, vlogs take up a lot of space and I haven't edited this video yet at the time of filming this. But we ordered a bunch of raspberry. Well, let me show you this first. I showed that already. They're black raspberries that are growing and they're thorny and they're growing just like randomly. And I asked my neighbor like, hey, did you plant these? And she was like, nope, just the birds just dropped it off. So we decided to take down all of our plastic fencing in our backyard because like we're just over like plastic consumerism. And we purchased a huge order from fastestgrowingtrees.com to get blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. So the blackberries are back ordered, so we haven't received those yet. But the first day we received 2 out of the 4 raspberries, and that's what I was planting. My husband was planting at the end of this video. And then yesterday we received the 2 blueberries. Not to the fault of the company. Fastest Growing Trees is not sponsored or anything. Literally, we dropped like a ton of money on this. Not to their fault. It was actually FedEx's fault that we didn't get it sooner, and they still have 2 more of our raspberries. But here are the blueberries. These are called Toro blueberries, and this is how they came in. And we just got them yesterday, and they were like extra on a FedEx truck because like FedEx's fault, but they already have some blueberries growing on them. And like, I think there were some over here. Yeah, over here. Remember when I said this was going to be fast? That's funny. So we actually have to plant these, but because they're shipped the way they're shipped, some of the branches were broke. So we're trying to propagate. We looked up how to propagate these, and that's what we're trying to do here. So these are like whatever, and we looked up like how to do that. Okay, but the really exciting news is in this video when I planted all the seeds, one of them is growing already, and I'm gonna go upstairs and show you, but my husband's on a call right now, so I'm gonna do the talking here. So I have them lined up on the windowsill upstairs, all the things that we planted, and my husband was like, oh my gosh, one of them are growing. He's like, I bet you that's one of the squashes, because we live in New York and that's like something that grows like really easy here. Like one time we like never threw away our pumpkin and like it grew on our front, like we grew a new pumpkin, like stuff like that grows really well in our area. So he's like, oh, I bet you it's a squash. So I look underneath because I have everything labeled, and it was the sunflower seeds. I'm so excited. It was the sunflower seeds from the sunflowers that we had got from the whole like sunflower garden thing. And one of them is growing, the one that was room temperature. So we stored them 2 different ways. One was room temperature and one was in the refrigerator because I wasn't sure which way to store them. I don't know where I got the refrigerator idea, but anyway, the room temperature one is growing, and I'm going to show you guys that, and I'm just so excited. So let me go update you guys. I'm going to go show you guys now.